Hey guys, Ouija here, and LSS just dropped some pretty big news that I wasn't expecting. I don't know if anyone was expecting. They're releasing their updated banned and restricted list early. Originally, it was supposed to be February 2nd. So let's just take a look on what they did. I'm just going to give some quick thoughts and just kind of let my thoughts flow out. So they say this is by James White. Briar has clearly been the best deck in Classic Constructed since it released, winning 63% of the Living Legends points from the National Champ season. While new strategies emerge over the course of the competitive season that can compete and beat Briar, such as Oldham Control, Ice Lexi, and Kano, it has become apparent that how the Briar hero card functions, along with their prevalence at events of all levels, is proving negative to the overall enjoyment of playing Flesh and Blood. I think we can all agree with that. Um, Even though there's decks that can beat Briar, such as the ones they listed, it's just extremely unfun to play against her, and it's extremely unfun to watch as well. It's pretty much Chain 2.0. So let's keep going. Today's announcement aims to improve play experience as well as rebalance the format. Okay. Functional errata to address balance or game experience is a tool we intend to use only in rare circumstances. Typically, if the card was deemed problematic enough to warrant an errata of this nature, it would simply be banned. We don't view banning hero cards as a credible option, which is why the Briar hero card is receiving functional errata for the good of the game. So I like that they don't want to ban hero cards. They're saying it's not an option, which is good because it would suck to buy into a hero and they get banned. That hero is unplayable. At least here with the errata, they may not be as powerful as before, but at least they're still playable. So that's good. The background. So this is going over some of the reasoning that they're doing this and their design intent for Briar. Was to make non-attack action cards that defend for 2 more playable by enabling them to defend for 3. The way Briar ended up being printed, 2 defense cards frequently defend for 4 or 5, leading to a metagame that has invalidated nearly every other deck based on attacking. Flesh and Blood is designed on the premise that the standalone 4 defense cards are primarily defense reactions, such as Sink Below and Fate Foreseen. The cost of playing these cards is that they offer no utility, they only do one thing other than pitch. They defend for 4. This important game dynamic, the trade-off of utility versus 4 defense, is broken by Briar's embodiment of Earth ability, being able to trigger multiple times per turn. It effectively creates cards that can defend for 4 plus or can be played offensively, meaning the defending Briar player can always choose the line of play that profits them the most. For hero cards, based on attacking, Briar consistently creates a damned if you do, damned if you don't game experience. We can all agree with that. If she's swinging for a snatch for 10 with the plunder run, draw 2 on hit. I mean, you have no choice but to throw out your hand, block that, and they have go again from their lightning token, and you're just going to take free damage after that. So they're absolutely right about this. If you don't defend her attack, she stacks up embodiment of her tokens that enable her defending hand to trade favorably. If you do defend her attacks to prevent embodiments of Earth from accumulating, you have few cards left to mount a counterattack. It's in the second example that the nature of design flaw is most apparent. Same cards that could have defended for 4 plus also allow Briar to leverage every tempo advantage she gains, creating a vicious loop that is not fun to play against for most heroes. Internal development was aware of Briar's play patterns, but not to the extent that has been magnified by the gameplay observed in communities and large-scale events around the world. So basically, Tarek Patel broke the game. That's what they're saying there. We are always looking at ways to improve how we create cards, especially our heroes, and lessons have been learned with Briar and how far we can push the envelope. So, I mean, just like with Duskblade, how they consider that a learning lesson, how they banned Duskblade before it was even released. Um, they're learning another lesson here with how they make heroes. And while yes, it is annoying. I mean, it's a young game. I'm super happy that they're owning up to these kind of things. It just shows that they're very passionate about the game and they want it to do good, and they are learning from this. So it sucks, but they're learning. It's okay. Errata. So basically, effective immediately, both adult and young versions of Briar are receiving functional errata, so her ability that creates embodiment of Earth tokens will trigger only once per turn. So now she can only get one embodiment, not two, three, four, which was crazy. I think it's a good change. The updated version of the Briar Hero cards will be available in the near future. Wow, so I really like this statement here. Um, I really hate whenever games errata cards and a new player comes into the game, they build the deck, they take it to a tournament, they play a card, and you have to tell them that it doesn't their card does not work that way, and they're confused. It's just kind of a feels bad moment. So the fact that they are going to give an updated version of the Briar Hero, that's really awesome. Really, really like that a lot. I don't know if they're going to put that in like tournament kits or just tokens in a future set or something. So banned and restricted. This announcement, yeah. So this announcement's being early, like I said at the beginning of the video. Originally, this was supposed to come out February 2nd. The reason that the date was chosen was to allow for the conclusion to our competitive season. We have decided to instead bring the announcement forward and exempt the Australian and New Zealand National Championship main events, not side events, from the errata and bans announced today. So that's really good. I'm sure a lot of the Australian players are going to be happy to hear that. That, this deck will not be banned for the national championship. That's right around the corner. That would be really bad. Upset a lot of people. So it's good that they're exempting that, but also letting us know that these changes are coming. So at least we can see somewhat into the future. Start kind of brainstorming now on how to build Briar with the updates. So I really like that. This change here, so there's two bans. They are banning Ball Lightning. I did not expect that ban at all. I think most people were expecting a Plunder Run, which is also the other banned card. Ball Lightning is very interesting. They have some thoughts here on why they banned it. They say Ball Lightning looks innocuous on the surface and does lend itself to some interesting gameplay. The decision to ban Ball Lightning is mostly centered around reducing the consistency of the Briar deck in support of opening the door to other aggressive decks to re-enter the metagame. Ball Lightning typically is played as a 6 of in Classic Constructed and 4 of in Blitz, giving Briar decks a critical mass of lightning cards for fuse effects and attack action cards that Weave Lightning can buff, and perhaps most importantly, attack action cards with unconditional go again. Without Ball Lightning, card selection, tension, and trade-offs exist when considering Briar deck construction. Ball Lightning tick too many boxes. Post Errata and bans, we expect Briar to continue to be a competitive deck that is also enjoyable to play against. So yeah, the Ball Lightning one's the most interesting thing for me. Was not expecting it. I mean, it's a very good card, especially combined with things like Sting of Sorcery and Channel Mount Heroic. But I'm not sure the ban was needed for Ball Lightning, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. The Plunder Run ban, let's see what they have to say about that. It is normal for 6 to 9 copies of the Plunder Run to be included in Briar and Chain decks. While drawing multiples of this card is clunky and it takes a full turn cycle to set up for maximum impact, this card is often the linchpin of the spikiest turn that are often irrecoverable from. The release of both Lightning Press and Spellbound Creepers has added additional potency to an already pushed card effect. Of concern, even more so than the power level of this card, is the play experience it creates. Plunder Run frequently makes hand evaluation default to defend with my entire hand and hope for the best. It's like what I was talking about earlier. We believe this play pattern that occurs multiple times per game due to the prevalence of Plunder Run is not aligned with positive play experience. Like I said earlier, everyone could agree with this. Red Plunder from Arsenal, buffing the card, and the fact that it's not just the next card that hits, draws a card. It's, you can play something, block it out, and then they can play something else and still get the draw effect. That's what makes Plunder Run crazy. So Plunder Run definitely needed to be banned. Definitely unfun to play against. So that's good. The only thing that I'm curious about is a Ball Lightning ban. I don't think it needed to be banned, but I'll take it. I mean, You know, no one likes to play against ball lightning, so that's cool. So overall, good changes. The embodiment change definitely needed to happen. Um, the plunder run ban definitely needed to happen. Ball lightning, not so sure, but maybe Briar be built more an Earth version now. The Earth version was doing well, just wasn't as good as the Cheerio version. So that should be interesting, especially seeing what we will get from Everfest. So hopefully this opens up a bunch of new avenues for Briar on how she can be built. Overall, I'm happy how LSS handled this. Letting us know ahead of time, but not banning it for the New Zealand Nationals. And explain their thought process, and the fact that they owned up to another mistake is good. So future sets they won't make that same mistake. So overall, good. Um, Thank you for watching, and see you next time.